Hi, it's Dave from Wildernessoutside, and I'm out again, and today I'm going to do a quick review on a new bike I bought for commuting work. I picked this up maybe a week and a half ago, probably done about 60-70 miles on it so far, so just thought I'd give me initial thoughts in a quick review on the 2021 Haibike hardnine 4. So this is your hardnine from Haibike. This is £2,100 on your door, and it comes with a Bosch performance line motor, which goes out to about 65 Newton meters of torque. It's not the top of line CX model, but considering it's not the biggest motor they do, it's a pretty punchy unit, which I'll get into a bit later on. Got a 400 watt hour battery in, which you can remove by taking these off, and there's the Bosch Power Tube 400. It has a key for easy removal, and I'll do that in a minute. You can plug directly into mains, but I tend to just take the power tube out and just do it on the kitchen top. Component wise, for this sort of money for an e-bike, you're not going to get super duper components. For rear mechas, Shimano Evo 9-speed, which for that sort of money you're going to expect that sort of group set. But so far it's shifted pretty well, and at this price point, when it does wear out, if you wanted to upgrade to a better group set, you can go for like a XT or something like that, or if you want to go for e-bike specific, you could use the SRAM group set, which has come out for e-bikes. It has Tetra brakes on it, which when I first bought the bike they weren't the best. They didn't have much stopping power, but as the week's gone on and the pads and calipers and the rotor have all bedded in, the stopping power on the back is a lot better than on the front. Rim wise, it uses a Yak 25, which is it's a budget rim. It's a budget rim. I'm not going to lie about it. It has a budget rim, but it does the job at this price point. It's got impact smart pack tyres, which basically like a cross-country profile for cheap and cheerful. Seat wise, it's got, I think it must be Haibike's own brand XLC seat, and it's surprisingly comfy. I mean, my other bike's a 2020 Santa Cruz Bronson, and that's got a WTB, I think it's a Silverado on it, and as daft as it sounds, this cheap seat is a lot more comfortable than that. So the seat, I can't knock it. Just a basic XLC again alloy seat post. Same with the handlebars and the stem. They're just Haibike own brand XLC, I think. Just basic alloy. I mean, I bought these Ergon grips myself, because the plastic ones that came on here was shocking. They were just like 2 bits of hard plastic. Fork wise, we have the Suntool 32 120mm 29-inch wheel Pacific fork. They're okay for that price point, but not brilliant. And yeah, basically that's the walk round of the bike. The shifters are Alevio 9-speed, Tetra brakes, hydraulic, which for this price point on an e-bike I had a funny feeling they might have been like cable disc brakes, but no, they're fully hydraulic, which is a bonus. And the unit, let me just put my gloves on the seat. The unit is a Bosch Purion. Got it in tour mode at the moment, but you have 4 levels assist. You have off, you have eco, you have tour, you have EMTB, and you have a turbo. Now let's talk for a second about the reassessed levels. When it's off, it's self-explanatory. You're doing all the work. In eco, it'll give you a nice little boost when you need it on the up banks. Nothing too exciting. It'll give you probably a little boost when you need it on the up banks, but the motor will cut out at 15 miles per hour or 25 kilometers an hour. I haven't de-restricted it, and to be honest, this is the point I'll make with this bike. I actually don't think it needs it. As a commuter bike, you don't really need to be tanking around at about 30 mile an hour. And a lot of the time I've done 35 mile an hour on it so far, almost 40 mile an hour on the down banks, and really you only need the assistance on the up banks. So like overclocking your bike, you can tear through the trails at 15 mile an hour easy with this. Just know what gear to put it in, and then you'll get about pretty much okay. Let's talk about some of the plus points. The frame, it's for the money, it's an alloy frame. It's a nice alloy frame. It's got points for mounting if you want to put panniers on and things like that. The motor, it's a Bosch motor. It's only the Gen 3 motor, but it's a powerful motor. And to be honest, I'd love to try one of the Gen 4 CX motors, because I think they've got 95 Newton meters of torque, where this is 65. And for me, I weigh about 10 and a bit stone. I'm not the biggest guy in the wheel, but I weigh about 10 and a half stone or thereabouts. And the bike gets up everything I need to get up. And when you put it into like EMTB or turbo, you really feel the motor doing the work. It really propels you up. I mean, I've gone up some pretty steep banks that I tend to go down on me Bronson, and if it wasn't for, like, say, the tyres maybe not gripping as well as they should, it's like a Maxxis DHF or DHR grip, then it flies up. I mean, 50 mile an hour up a bank, which is pretty hard climb up on a full sus or something like that. It's pretty good going. And yeah, so I think the price point, that's another plus. For £2,000 you're getting a lot of bike. Yes, there is some negatives, like some of the components, like the rims, the group set, the tyres sort of things, and the forks. They're all things that if you wanted to, you could upgrade over time, and the basic frame, motor, battery is a good platform for build on. I mean, personally, if it was me, the first things I will eventually change, I'll swap the tyres out for maybe an Assegai and an Aggressor, and then the forks. That is the biggest letdown for me with this bike. Basically, the 120mm cross country fork, but in some situations are laughable. Like if you get the wheel off the ground, the fork just you a clunk. If the wheel's on the ground and it's going over things, then it's okay. But as soon as you lift the wheel off the ground, you get a comedy clunk. So the forks aren't brilliant, and that's one part of the bike which I will be swapping out as quick as I can. You get some decent forks on, like maybe a set of Rebra or something like that, or maybe an 130mm pike, something like that, or maybe the 35 RLs, something along those lines I might put on it. But that is, with this bike, the fork is the biggest letdown. I mean, the gears and seat and things like that, you can swap them out easy, but the fork, if they'd added slightly better fork on, then the bike would be a lot more capable. But then again, I think at this price point, Haibike know that a lot of people will buy the bike and then just swap out some of the components, like the fork, maybe the rims. I don't know though, because you can live with them. Definitely the tyres, because I have found the limitations of them. They're pretty good for a commuter tyre, but as soon as you take it off on some of the loose stuff, you can feel that point of grip where the tyre is biting, and you feel where it wants to start sliding. I've had that a couple of times, so there'll be something I'll be addressing later and swapping out. And the grips were shocking. So, and grips are an important part. It's like the contact point between the bike, like the seat and the grips. But the grips also low it down. But generally, it's a very good bike for the money. Most of 99% of it I do like, but there's just that 1% of bits and bobs on it, or should I really say 5%? Bits and bobs on it that once you swapped it out, you'll have a very capable 29 hardtail. Excuse me, just coughing because I've been waffling for too long. But yeah, it's a very good bike for the money. So I hope you like this quick little review, and from Dave from Wildernessoutside, I'll catch you later.